Guys, I want to talk about get in on some Lions conversation. If we could, ESPN ranked all 32 teams' rosters. They have the Lions pretty much smack dab in the middle. Actually, second half of the NFL, 17th. When you look at first guy to the 53rd guy, the Lions roster ranks 17th. They've got the Vikings roster ahead of them. The Seahawks roster is at 12. You look at some other NFC teams, the 49ers at 8, the Cowboys at 6, and the Eagles at 2. So there's about 5 teams in the NFC above the Lions. Eagles, Cowboys, 49ers, Seahawks, and Vikings.
That still gets us in the playoffs.
It still does. But again, Seahawks and Vikings.
That's their opinion, by the way.
That's their opinion.
Yeah.
I understand that. And maybe I'm missing something on this Viking situation because this is the second time I've seen Minnesota's roster ahead of the Lions a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm looking at this, once again, I say this all the time when it comes to Lions fans. Whenever there's a list for anything, Lions fans are never happy with where they're at. 17th right now. If you're talking about constructed rosters, just look at the Lions last year. Like in terms of how they rank them, Lions were the worst defense, one of the worst defenses in the NFL last year. One of the worst. They were at one point on the verge of being historically bad last year. Now, they played much better at the end of the season, and then in the offseason, yes, they added a lot of key pieces to the secondary, and they drafted some guys, especially Jack Campbell as well, a linebacker that they needed. But they still got to see it on the field. You still got to see it in play. Offense, they're much better. But once again, where's the Pro Bowlers at? Where's the guys that are in the top 10? Where are the guys that are in the top 15? If you look at the rosters ahead of us, every NFC team you name has been to the NFC Championship or been to the Super Bowl or beat us last year. And that would be the Seattle Seahawks, and they got much better as well. So I'm not tripping on the list. I think the Lions, people just still want to see it. People are scared to just go all in on the Lions and say, they are it. The most you ever say, they'll make it to the playoffs. The Lions are definitely going in the right way. But when you start putting them top 10 in the list, people aren't going to do that. When you start talking about them going to the NFC Championship this year, people aren't going to do that either. They're good at 17. I think they'll get much better for them. It's about the continuity. So once they get 5, 6, 7 games under their belt, they'll get better and people will be able to see what we know.
Just remember, just 2 years ago, we would be 32nd, 31st, or 30th.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a hell of a jump, and I'll take it. And
Right.
Last year
we'll
it
be
was
top
26.
10. That's right. We'll be next year. They'll be top 10.
That's a great point, Maz.
Yep.
And there is a lot of look, universal support. Anytime there's universal support on something, I almost
It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Take a listen to this from ESPN over the weekend.
What'd they say?
1 second.
Lions fans.
We kind of dropped that on poor Parker.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We were talking about the Lions segment here, so I thought maybe it'd just be like pretty understood. The ESPN panel picks the Lions and the Jets to make the playoffs. All of them. Don't worry about
just
it,
like
Parker.
me.
It's fine. So every single NFL analyst picked the Lions and the Jets because you look at a board.
Because they asked for 2 new teams.
Well, yeah.
Like we did the other day.
Right. It's exactly what we did because of the 14 teams that made the playoffs last year, automatically 4 teams that made the playoffs are going to be out and 4 teams are going to be in. So which 4 are out and which 4 are in? And the 2 that everybody settled on was Lions and Jets in.
I thought that was the 2 easiest ones. Yeah. And easy, and I know we're jumping to conclusions here on the Lions for sure. The Jets, they got Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers has anything left, and I think he does, he gets that team to the playoffs, even though the AFC is a juggernaut this year.
Yeah, and here's my big thing, too. We keep assuming that Aaron Rodgers and this Jets team, we assume that it's going to be this match made in heaven. Yes, the Jets defense last year ranked as high as 3rd in the league, and I think they finished 6th. Yeah. We just think he's going to come on this team. They didn't have a quarterback last year. They were on the verge of making the playoffs. If they had a quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, we saw Aaron Rodgers play horrible last year. He got better towards the end of the year. But who's to say Aaron Rodgers is going to be the Aaron Rodgers we know? Who's to say that is even going to matter, considering the home field advantage that he's had in the last 4 years in Green Bay and done nothing with it? Also, You remember, I just sat here last Thursday and I read the New York Jets schedule just because they got a quarterback now to go with that. Yeah, I think Gary Wilson's going to be freaking amazing. But yes, that young offense, they're going to be good. That defense is going to be great. You still got to go out there and win games. They open up against Buffalo.
Yeah.
They backdoor that with Cowboys, and then the Chiefs, and then the Broncos, and then the Eagles, and then the Chargers, and then the Giants. They could look up after 7 games and be 2-5 with one-score games. They can lose a lot of close games. So it's not for sure that the Jets are going to get into the postseason. I believe they will, but they got a tough schedule, and they're starting a first-time quarterback for that team. So
I'm just so excited.
Keep an eye on it.
I'm still excited
I
to
am
see
too. Hell yeah.
just to see Aaron Rodgers wearing a single-digit number on the New York Jets. I was excited when Brett Favre came, but this is even, to me as a Jet fan, this is even bigger, I believe. And I think he's really bought in to being in New York, buying that beautiful $11 million house in upstate New Jersey, up in Caldwell, New Jersey. He is locked in. He is 20 minutes from practice, and he's 20 minutes from the stadium. He is right where he's supposed to be. He just seems at peace, and I think the New York fans are going to love him, and I think he is going to love New York.
You got that video, Parker? Oh, I thought you said you had it. I apologize. The video itself, and I'm not sure we'll be able to play it for you, but when you see, the first thing I thought of when I saw this video was, you know when you see the preview of a Monday Night Football game?
Yeah.
And at the bottom where they pick all the winners.
I know.
And every single one of them had, like, Kansas City.
Yes.
Right? And then Kansas City, like, doesn't cover. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like that. Here it is.
Damian Woody, you're up first, and the question here is, who are the 4 teams that didn't make the playoffs last year that will make it this year?
Yeah, Dan, so I'm going to go with the New York Jets. Let's see what else I got.
All right.
The Detroit Lions.
Right.
And just the last one I struggled with, but I'm going with the New Orleans Saints to come out of the NFC South.
The New Orleans Saints to come out of the NFC South. So he said, Diana, he said Jets, Steelers, Saints, and Lions. So what do you think of Damian's list?
I think it took him a long time to get to it, but I actually have to agree.
I think the Jets and the Lions are the 2 obvious choices. Damian and I share those. I also share the Steelers, though.
That was a surprise team to the Steelers because I think it's easy to say Detroit, New Orleans, and the Jets. Who's that 4th team?
Right.
Steelers finished 7-2.
That's
last year.
Nobody's talking about the Steelers
Because nobody believes in Kenny Pickett. Like, and that is frankly exactly what it is. They don't believe in Kenny Pickett. I also don't believe in the offense, Ryan. Like, that offense was ugly last year for the Steelers. Even when they won 7-2, they got some defensive players back late in the year, and so they were better on defense. But that offense was horrible. Like, just giving the ball to Najee Harris all game, like, that's not going to get it done. Maybe every once in a while catching a fluke touchdown.
He didn't do anything anyway.
Exactly, because they keep force-feeding him the ball. They got to do something with the offense because they got some pieces. You got George Pickens. You have Freiermuth.
I love Freiermuth.
They paid Washington last year. Deontay Washington's a damn good wide receiver. Najee Harris is a running back. You got Kenny Pickett, who looks serviceable at the end of the year. So they got some pieces. He's got offensive coordinator got to do something.
And I'll tell you who my bold prediction is for the playoffs. And you laugh at me all you want.
Carolina?
Nope. My bold prediction to make the playoffs this year, the LA Rams. And I wouldn't even doubt a Lions hosting Matthew Stafford and the Rams in the playoffs.
That would be
Wouldn't
nice.
that be something?
How crazy
I'll
would
take
that
it.
be?
I'll take it.
Yeah, I would too, actually. Let's go.
Because then it's like both sides finally won.
Yep.
It'd be like Matt be walking in with his Super Bowl ring. Meanwhile, we'd be walking in with home field advantage.
And we send him off to his retirement.
Exactly.
Right.
Nice little handshake.
Yep.
Appreciate your service.
Jared
Right.
Goff over Stafford one last time.
Right, exactly.